Welcome to CSGAB Info Hub. We shall overcome. College Students and Graduates Association of the Blind. T. Nagar, Chennai. Telephone number 0442434862.
சட்டம் அறிவோம், சம உரிமைகளை காப்போம்.
தமிழன் என்று சொல்லடா, தலையில் விருந்து நில்லடா, தமிழடா.
GOMS number 28 dated 27/7/2018 விளம்பி ஆடி 11 திருவள்ளுவர் ஆண்டு 2049. The Tamil Nadu Rights of Persons with Disabilities Rules 2018. This segment contains the titles 18 Salary and Allowances of the State Commissioner, 19 Other Terms and Conditions of Service of the State Commissioner, 20 Advisory Committee to Assist State Commissioner, 21 Procedure to be followed by the State Commissioner for disposal of complaints, 22 Annual and Special Reports by State Commissioner, 23 the Special Public Prosecutor, 24 State Fund for Persons with Disabilities and its Management, and 25 Utilization of the State Fund. 18 Salary and Allowances of the State Commissioner. The salary and allowances of the State Commissioner shall be the salary and allowances as admissible to a secretary to the government. 19 Other terms and conditions of service of the State Commissioner. Other terms and conditions of service of the State Commissioner shall be on par with the Secretary to the Government. 20 Advisory Committee to assist State Commissioner. 1 The Government shall constitute an advisory committee to assist State Commissioner comprising of following members, namely 1 4 experts in the field of rehabilitation of persons with disabilities nominated by the government. 2 1 legal advisor not lower than the rank of Under Secretary to Government, Law Department, to be deputed by the government, or any legal practitioner with minimum practice of 15 years to be appointed by the government. 2 Members of the advisory committee shall be appointed for a period of 2 years, but they may be removed by the government before the expiry of this period. 21 Procedure to be followed by the State Commissioner for disposal of complaints. 1 A complaint containing the following particulars shall be presented by the complainant in person or by his agent to the State Commissioner, or be sent by registered post addressed to the State Commissioner. 1 The name, description and the address of the complainant. 2 The name, description and the address of the opposite party or parties, as the case may be, so far as they can be ascertained. 3 The facts relating to complaint and when and where it arose. 4 Document in support of the allegations contained in the complaint. And 5 The relief which the complainant claims. 2 The State Commissioner, on receipt of a complaint, shall refer a copy of the complaint to the opposite party or parties mentioned in the complaint, directing him to give his version of the case within a period of 30 days or such extended reasonable period as may be granted by the State Commissioner. 3 On the date of hearing or any other date to which hearing is adjourned, it shall be obligatory on the parties or their agents to appear before the State Commissioner. Where the complainant or his agent fails to appear before the State Commissioner on such days, the State Commissioner may, in his discretion, either dismiss the complaint on default or decide on merits. Where the opposite party or his agent fails to appear on the date of hearing, the State Commissioner may take such necessary action under Section 82 of the Act as he deems fit for summoning and enforcing the attendance of the opposite party. The State Commissioner may dispose of the complaint ex parte if necessary. The State Commissioner may, on such terms as he deems fit and at any stage of the proceedings, adjourn the hearing of the complaint, but the complaint shall be decided as far as possible within a period of 3 months from the date of receipt of notice by the opposite party. 22. Annual and special reports by State Commissioner. 1. The State Commissioner shall, as soon as possible after the end of the financial year, but not later than the 30th day of September in the next year, prepare and submit to the government an annual report giving a complete account of his activities during the said financial year. 2. In particular, the annual report referred to in Sub-Rule 1 shall contain information in respect of each of the following matters, namely 1. Names of its officers and staff and a chart showing the organizational setup. 2. The functions which the State Commissioner has been empowered under Sections 80 and 81 of the Act and the highlights of the performance in this regard. 3. The main recommendations made by the State Commissioner. 4. The progress made in the implementation of the Act. And 5. Any other matter deemed appropriate for inclusion by the State Commissioner or specified by the government from time to time. 23. The Special Public Prosecutor. The Special Public Prosecutor appointed under subsection 1 of Section 85 of the Act shall be entitled to receive fee or remuneration on par with fee or remuneration paid to Special Public Prosecutor appointed under the Scheduled Castes and the Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989, Central Act 33 of 1989. 24. State Fund for Persons with Disabilities and its Management. 1. The government shall constitute a fund to be called the State Fund for Persons with Disabilities, hereinafter in this chapter referred to as the State Fund, and its management and administration shall be conducted by a governing body consisting of following members, namely 1. Secretary to Government, Welfare of the Differently Abled Persons Department Chairperson. 2. Secretary to Government, Finance Expenditure Member. 3. Commissioner for Welfare of the Differently Abled Member Secretary. 2. The Commissioner for Welfare of the Differently Abled and Accounts Officer of Commissionerate for Welfare of the Differently Abled Persons shall perform all the transactions connected with the State Fund, and Accounts Officer shall maintain proper accounts. 3. There shall be credited to the State Fund 1. Sums granted by the government from the consolidated fund of the state for the use of the State Fund. 2. Sums received by way of gifts, donations, benefactions, bequests or transfers. 3. Sums from such other sources as may be decided by the government. 25. Utilization of the State Fund. 1. The State Fund shall be utilized for the following purposes, namely 1. Providing financial assistance for persons with disabilities and implementing schemes to further the purposes of the Act. 2. Administrative and other expenses of the fund as may be required to be incurred by or under the Act, not exceeding 2% of the purposes of fund in any financial year, and 3. Such other purposes as may be decided by the governing body. 2. Every proposal of expenditure shall be placed before the governing body for its approval. 3. The state fund shall be invested in such manner as may be decided by the governing body. 4. The accounts officer of the state fund shall prepare the accounts of revenue and expenditure under the state fund for each financial year not later than September 30th of the next financial year, and shall place the same for the approval of the governing body. The accounts shall be audited by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India.
Compilation of state and central government orders are brought out and made available by College Students and Graduates Association of the Blind in 3 volumes.
Thanks for listening and do not forget to subscribe. We will join you with the new post.